All right, man. My name's Colin. What's your name?
My name is Igor.
What is it?
Igor. It spells Y-G-O-R.
That's awesome. And where are you from?
I'm from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Born and raised. Yes, sir.
Awesome. How long have you been here in Houston area?
5 years in H-Town. You know how it goes, man. Not the best city in America, but one of them.
What's your favorite part about Houston?
My favorite part about Houston, diversity. People, man. I just love meeting people. That's how, you know, we just became friends pretty much, right?
Yep.
It's diversity, man. Meeting people from everywhere, all types of backgrounds, even Brazilian people from different cities. Like my boss, JP, that you just interviewed. I never imagined meeting somebody from Bahia. I just did it, and he became my friend. So diversity, man, that's the word.
Word. And what's the best place to eat around here?
To eat? That's a great question. I don't go out a lot to eat, honestly, but I love myself some pizza. Son Arnold, man, that has the best pizza I tried. Some people are gonna hate on this, man, but it's whatever. I love them. They give me ketchup on my pizza. That's why I love them, man.
Ketchup on the pizza?
That's a Brazilian thing, bro.
Interesting, interesting. How do you feel like COVID has affected things here in Houston?
I feel like Texas in general just has its own economy sometimes. So I don't feel like Houston, I'm gonna speak about Houston. I don't see Houston being that affected, even though I know it affected a lot of people. But I didn't lose my job, my mom didn't. A lot of families that I know didn't lose their jobs, thank God, man. But I know some people like New York, people are suffering, man. It's been crazy. I feel like here, life, people just put masks and still go, you know, live their lives and stuff. Because there are still places hiring and stuff. So I didn't feel like economically it really affected the city or even the state. But you see some impact, right? You see people losing jobs that they had for years. Companies closing and stuff, but a lot of people open too. Like my job, man. My boss opened. He started that everyday life, going to different parks and stuff because of COVID. Like he saw an opportunity, so it became, you know, he brought good things too.
Yep, you gotta look for the silver linings.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anybody you want to shout out? Any businesses you want to shout out?
Alimentum, bro.
Woo, 2 shout outs in one day.
You know, small business in general, man. Just people, just a message, I guess. People
Definitely.
Don't lose their faith, man. You know, keep working, keep doing their thing, and everything's gonna be fine, man. A lot of positivity, good vibes for everyone. That's what we need.
Here we go. All right, my name's Colin. What's your name?
My name is JP. It's short for João Paulo, like it's a Portuguese name.
Okay, and are you from Texas?
I'm from Brazil.
Oh, awesome. When did you move here?
I moved in 2015.
Okay, so you've been here about 5, almost 6 years
yes,
now.
Yeah.
Have you been in Houston the whole time, or Houston area?
The whole time, yes. The whole
Okay.
time, Houston.
What do you think is the biggest difference between Houston and Brazil?
It's very organized place. You know, like a lot of like opportunities, a lot of jobs. Back in Brazil, like there are some crises, so there isn't like enough job for everybody. So here it's very international here. So you find food and culture for everywhere in the world.
What's the best place to eat other than Alimentum, of course?
Oh man, like I like to support like small business. So in my neighborhood there is a place called Teotihuacan. It's a Mexican restaurant. It's great. I like to eat also at there is I forgot the name now. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So there are a lot of places, you know, like there is like Argentinian places and Colombian and, you know, Asian also. So there are a lot of good places to eat here.
Super cool. What's your favorite part about living in Houston?
So living in Houston, it's like the diversity, because you are able to meet people from, you know, China, Japan, and South Korea, and Central America, South America, so Europe. So that's great because you learn a little bit from like each person, and you can see the difference. You know, you can tell the difference between every place, like in just one city.
Super cool. And how do you feel like COVID-19 has affected things here in Houston?
So in Houston, because it's like it's powered by the oil and gas industry, I don't feel a lot of like the impact like for like, let's say, my business or a lot of other business as some other places. But it's different. It's very different because you used to see the streets full of cars, and then you saw like the streets like empty, and then that was a big difference. And people, you know, like scared and, you know, like concerned and taking precautions. So yeah, that's what I
Awesome. And then I think I know the answer, but at the end I like to leave some room for you to plug whatever business, or, you know, if there's a person you want to plug. I imagine that you will plug Alimentum, but do you want to say a few words?
Yeah, sure. Alimentum, it's Latin for food.
Okay.
And then I'm from Brazil. In Brazil and some other countries and other places, it's very popular. You have like the coconut water, you have like juices and stuff fresh. And then because Houston is so diverse and open, so I started this business, and I'm the only one who sells coconut water in Houston.
Oh wow.
And then it's been successful, and people appreciate that because people from Venezuela, from like Vietnam, they are used to drink coconut water every day, and then they couldn't find it, just bottle boxes. And then now they have the opportunity to find the coconut from the fruit. I just poke a hole, put a straw, nothing added to it. It's how it should be. So that's my concept. And Houston, it's great for like to have this diversity, and then you are able to open like a door that like means something to you. You don't need to be a business for America. You just need to be a business for everybody, and then you are gonna be like well accepted.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Now that's delicious.
All right, what's up? My name's Colin. What's your name?
What's going on, Colin? I'm 8 Montpelier, man.
Awesome. And are you from here? Are you from?
I'm actually from St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, cool. When did you move up here?
I want to say about 2009.
Okay, so you've been here for a good bit. What do you feel like is the biggest difference between Missouri and here?
Culture shock. Definitely a culture shock. More opportunities in Houston. Definitely more opportunities. Definitely diversity, business-wise.
Awesome.
Yes,
and what do you think embodies the spirit of Houston?
What drives the spirit of Houston is the people. I want to say the people because the people keeps the Houston alive. People in Houston, they're very prideful in Houston. They're very prideful, especially being from Texas, especially Texas and Houston, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They're very prideful, you know, H-Town, stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
And what do you think is the best food around here?
Man, where in City Center or in Houston?
How about both?
The best food is City Center, man. If you want to go American style, I would definitely say go to Yard House, or go to you want to go get your bang for your buck, go to Yard House. You want to go to the best food in Houston, let's do top 3. Top 3, we'll say turkey leg hunt. We'll have to throw, I think Houston has one of the best papados. And I'm missing one more, man. I know I'm missing some more. I mean, I know I'm missing. They're gonna be mad at me, but
No worries, man. It's tough on the spot.
Taste bar. Oh, the Breakfast Club.
Okay.
The Breakfast Club. You heard of the Breakfast Club, right?
I've heard of it. I haven't been there
Oh
yet.
yeah, the Breakfast Club. Yeah, right there. That was top 3 to me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And last question, how do you feel like COVID has affected things in the last year or so now?
I feel like COVID has definitely affected things, good and bad, on the spiritual level, on the mental level, on the physical level, on the financial level. It's affected everybody, you know what I mean, on every level. If you wasn't affected respiratorily, you know what I mean, if you weren't sick, if you didn't get sick, then you got affected financially. If you didn't get affected financially, then you were affected by it spiritually, because everybody got different views on it. Everybody didn't react to it the same way as everybody else did. So if you didn't get spiritually moved by it, then you got mentally moved by it because you felt a certain way, you know what I mean? So it affected us on all levels, as far as it affected the way we viewed the world. Now it affected the way that we handle each other, the way we look at each other. I felt like COVID, I feel like with the hurricane, with everything that with the hurricane, it brought more people together. With COVID-19 in Houston, it didn't do nothing but bring people apart, tear people apart, divide, you know what I mean? So Not to sound long-winded.
No, well
Yes, sir.
said. Well said.
Yeah, well said, dog.
Anybody you want to shout out? Any businesses you want to shout out?
Oh yeah, follow my juicing company called Fresh Juice for You. Fresh Juice for You. It's all at Fresh Juice for You. I'm Armand the Entrepreneur. Definitely look us up at Fresh Juice for You and follow me at Armand the Entrepreneur. And go download all my music at it's on all platforms: Apple Music, Pandora, Tidal. We're on everything. Anything, Google Music, Google Play Music, Deezer. You go name it. TikTok. Look up the name Armand Pierre. Fresh Juice for You.
Awesome. I'll check you out, man. Thanks for the
I'm
interview.
my guys, Mr. Collins right now.
All right, my name's Colin. What's your name?
My name's Kevin.
Kevin. Nice to meet you, man. And are you from Houston?
I moved out here in 2003.
Okay, so you've been here a while.
Yeah, yeah.
Where are you from originally?
I was an Army brat when I was younger, so I mean, I would say the only place I could say I was from was Maryland, only because that's where I went to high school.
Okay, whereabouts in Maryland? I'm from that area.
Frederick.
Okay, cool.
Or technically Newmarket is where I live.
Awesome. My brother went to school at Mount St. Mary's in Emmitsburg.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Linganore.
Cool, man. Cool.
Yeah.
So, what's the best part about Houston? What do you feel embodies like the spirit of Houston?
I would say just its diversity. I mean, it's a big city and like it's so incredibly diverse. It's even, you know, a lot of people think of New York as like the most diverse city in the nation, but it's actually Houston technically. I mean, not to take anything away from New York, because I love New York. I've been there several times. I love that city. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Houston is my home. Another thing that defines it in my mind is the music scene. I'm actually very active in the music scene. I play in a band called The Suffers.
Cool.
Suffers, The Suffers. I've also played in other bands within Houston, most notably Los Carnales. If you want to learn a little bit about the Houston music scene, look these guys up.
Okay.
And yeah, I've just been playing in other bands, a local rock and roll band called the Lonesome Haunts, and lately I've been playing with the Roots reggae band. They're actually out of Galveston called DEM, DEM Roots Music. So yeah, I guess that's, I mean, the short answer is the thing that defines music for me, you know, the city of Houston for me is yeah, it's music scene and it's diversity.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And how about places to eat? Where's the best place to eat here?
See, speaking of Houston's diversity, I mean, the culinary scene here is incredible. I mean, you can find anything. I mean, you'd have to basically ask me for a specific cuisine, you know, like Tex-Mex is easy when you're in Texas.
Sure.
But I mean, I know 4 or 5 places that are great for sushi, or 4 or 5 like Indian food places, both vegetarian and non-vegetarian, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, it's like there's Ethiopian places, and I've even managed to find 1 or 2 Puerto Rican places, believe it or not.
Sick.
Yeah, so so I've been lucky.
How do you feel like COVID has affected the city?
Well, especially as a musician, it's affected me very heavily because, you know, the Suffers were going to go on tour all of 2020, and we had tour dates all year. We were even going to go on it was a cruise ship festival like out in Europe. We had all this stuff planned and we couldn't do any of it. And we just had to sort of get creative, like a lot of musicians do, a lot of like the live streaming thing. Like we've also set up a Patreon page. You can support us that way. And you know, a lot of bands have done a similar thing. And it's even as things have opened, it's still affected the way musicians have played live gigs. I mean, I do gigs regularly with them, the reggae band, but you know, it's like the restaurants are like very strict capacity. It's like we play outside, and you know, it's like we're sort of restrained by the sort of the limits that are put on, you know, because of COVID. So for me as a musician especially, it's affected me greatly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and also as someone who works at music venues, whenever I'm not on tour, I work at Heights Theater, I work at White Oak Music Hall, and those dates were completely wiped out, you know. So, yeah.
Well, I appreciate the time. Is there anybody else you want to shout out? You know, I know you mentioned the Suffers there. You know, anything else you want to shout out? I like to leave a little room.
I will also say, speaking of how it affected the city, I know a lot of people, I have a lot of friends who are in the service industry, a lot of bartenders, a lot of caterers, you know, a lot of people work at restaurants, and they've been also hit especially hard. And you know, as things reopen, they're kind of put in a catch-22 situation where it's like they can't staying closed obviously presents, you know, a set of difficulties for them. But also like working like puts them at risk, because now they have to be in front of all these strangers.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah. As far as shouting out, I think I've shouted out all my bands, which to me is the most important thing, because the musicians also, just as badly, they need our support in any possible way they can. You know, if you ever see a musician like doing a live stream thing and have a little Venmo, just, tip them out on the Venmo or PayPal or whatever, So yeah, I guess I would just shout out all the musicians, not just in Houston, but just everywhere all over the world.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great sentiment. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Awesome. My name's Colin. What's your name?
Summer.
Awesome. And how long have you been in the Houston area?
I'm just visiting here. It's been almost a couple of weeks.
Okay.
My sister lives here and I don't live here, so I was just coming to visit.
Super cool. And where are you from originally?
Egypt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What do you feel like Houston has been like so far? What embodies the spirit of Houston over the last couple of weeks?
Well, I think cosmopolitan would be the right word, because it seems like there's a taste of every culture here. It doesn't make me feel like I'm a foreigner.
I like that. How about the food scene? Have you tried anywhere really good?
Yeah, everything is amazing. The food is more than sublime. I loved it, all of it. The meat especially.
Where's the best place you ate so far?
Taste of Texas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was really good.
And how do you feel like, and maybe you haven't experienced it, how do you feel like the police presence is here in Houston?
They're very, very much present on every curb. It makes me feel really safe, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And how about COVID? How does COVID here compare to maybe some of the other places you've been?
Well, back home, currently it's a little bit bad, but it didn't used to be so bad. But I think that people are handling it very well here. They're very conscious about wearing masks and keeping their distance, sometimes a bit too aggressive about that. But I think they're doing much better than we are back home.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And just at the end here, is there any people or businesses that you'd want to shout out just to give them a little clout here?
Well, Taste of Texas, of course. It was the most amazing customer service I ever had. Yeah, maybe.
Thanks. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.
So I'm doing interviews in Houston, right? And I'm about to cross the street. I'm on one of the main strips. It's a nicer area. And all of a sudden a golf cart pulls up. It's got 2 cops in it. They get out. They say, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm crossing the street." I thought maybe I was jaywalking or something. They go, "Well, somebody said you were, asking for stuff and panhandling." And like, "No, I'm a journalist. I'm, just going around interviewing people." And they said, "Oh, no problem. We have a YouTube too. Just keep at it. Do what you're doing. We're doing our job. You're doing your job. Just wanted to check in." So shout out to the cops in Houston.